Bruh. Nerd. Bruh. Bruh. Nerd. Bruh. Bruh. Bro. What up, bro, Cephas? Um. I am full of Filipino beef stew and pork skewers and rice. Um. So yeah, we're gonna go over patch 1140. Um. Probably not gonna play Grim Dawn tonight, but we'll do the patch. And tomorrow we'll do Monster Hunter because it's Friday, and we can do a Friday night hunts, and then we'll see about maybe streaming on Saturday. So yeah, so we're just gonna jump into these patch notes, I think. And if there's anything really truly interesting that I can show in the game, we'll jump over to the game and show it. But I don't know. Anyone got anything to say before I start? Aside from the words bruh and nerd? You big nerds. Hey, Samaris. Alright. I don't know what deferred rendering is, but there it is. Hey, Jin. So they're just gonna go by that. Update to game difficulty. With this patch, the base game has received a substantial balancing overhaul for normal, veteran, and elite difficulties. Over 1,800 database records in all. We felt that, over time, the base game's difficulty has waned significantly relative to the power growth of player characters, and even compared to Ashes of Malmoth and Forgotten Gods expansions. We've narrowed the gap between the expansion content and the base game content, meaning that at lower levels should feel more exhilarating to play, and the jump between difficulties will be much smoother. Does this mean the endgame has gotten more difficult? Well, yes and no. No, because we focused balancing on the early game, roughly levels 1 to 60, but yes, because we've updated old monster and boss encounters to deal damage in line with expansion enemies. All in all, the challenge should feel more consistent. That I actually don't know how I feel about, because okay, this is just coming from me personally. I really do not want to spend more time. If I had to make a new character, I would not want to spend more time playing through Grim Dawn. Now, granted, I would just take a character into Ultimate straight away as soon as I could, and then just level there and stuff. But if I had to play through the game multiple times again, this would actually probably kill my desire to do that at all. Just have the early game be harder. Now, for new players, I'm sure that actually is going to feel really good, where you actually have more challenge early on and you have a smoother curve through normal into elite into ultimate. But like for me, I don't really know how to feel about this. I don't want to present it as a negative because it's a personal negative for me, but just having to play through early game Grim Dawn, that's going to be harder to play through, doesn't sound all that appealing. So that's just my personal opinion on that. You may feel differently, and that's fine. I know it sounds funny for me to say I don't want to play Grim Dawn anymore, and that is true. But it's more because I feel like What I mean is, it's not that I wouldn't want to play Grim Dawn the game. It's just I wouldn't want to play through the story again, like, because it's just, again, at earlier difficulties, because it's just like I've done that a lot, like a lot, and I have to throw something away real quick. I've done that a lot. I've done that a lot. So it's like I just don't. I don't know that I'd want to do that and have it actually be slower and more difficult. Okay, so beyond that, major new features. Auto loot for components, consumables, and crafting materials is now available. Simply toggle the option in the game options. Finally, partial components that are looted are now automatically merged with other partial components in your inventory. Finally, monster health bars are now available. To enable them, open the game options menu and select your desired settings under the HUD tab. Monster HUD has been overhauled with updated visuals. Game options menu has been updated with a new tab. The general tab has been split into gameplay and interface for better organization. And also, because general was ready to explode with options. This we can actually hop onto a character and look at. Yeah, I still need to maybe get around to doing the build video for this guy, but yeah, there are the options. Woo! Auto loot materials. Actually, we're gonna do that too. I don't rotate the map at all. Trying to think of a place I can. Oh, I know I can run real quick. I know my game window is zoomed in. It's because it's capturing the screen, not the game window. So there are the health bars. We had some components drop. Oh, look at that, auto looted. Nice. It's, yeah, Jid, it's, I have the screen capture zoomed in so you don't see like my start menu and stuff.
I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
What were those?
See anything you like?
Oh. Okay.
Put it to good use. I'll keep your stash safe.
No.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah, thanks for that inventory change. All right, crafting UI is now has a search bar, finally, to filter your blueprints on name or specific stats similar to devotion search. Owners of Ashes expansion now have search bar within the stash. Highlight items based on your parameters. Shadow Realm. Slathazar Aether Gaze's poison pools now have a 50% shorter duration in the Shattered Realm. I don't like this patch note because it doesn't say Slathazar Aether Gaze has been removed from the game. Crucible. You can now select which Crucible map you may wish to play, or a random map when launching the Crucible. Art. Boneback Rats and Rift Hounds have received a visual update to bring them up to our modern standards, just as many early game enemies did before them. Spell effects override priority has been reversed. Now, the last override applied takes precedent, meaning item skill modifiers with FX updates, such as Calidor's Tempest, will take priority over the transmuter visuals. Okay. Does that mean, like, if you had, like, Hara's set going and you had the cold Calidors and then you grabbed Wrath, like, Wrath would do something to the skill modifiers with FX updates, take priority over transmuter visuals. that might be a technical thing that actually doesn't matter that much. Updated the spell effects for many projectiles, explosions, and ground effects used by the player and monster skills. Updated effects for many toggle and activated buffs from masteries and items to reduce blowout and improve visuals. Updated feat trails reduce blowout. Flames and transmuters reduce blowout. Alexa's is a little cooler. Who did I have a flash freeze on? Might still be on my spellbreaker. Chill out. Neat. Neat. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Okay. FX for Panetti's updated. FX rune and its fragments. Sigil texture transmuters. Sky shards. I think this guy still has them, doesn't he? Huh.
I can't do that yet.
I don't actually know that I like that. I don't think I have a character now that has the... Oh no, he does. He has the fire ones. Yeah, I like them more as meteors, actually, instead of, like, arrows. Those look fine.
Can't do that yet.
I don't know. They just seem really smaller. Especially the default ones. Like, these actually look really close to the old Sky Shards. And then the...
I'll keep an eye on
I can't do that.
Yeah, it's like... These still look like rocks. But the other ones looked like arrows.
Got something you need stashed?
I don't know how I feel about that change, honestly. It actually, like, stuff like that can turn me off of an ability if they make it look, like, really weird, right? I don't mind changes. It's just sometimes a change will happen and it'll be, like, a little too not... a little too much, right? And it's like, oh, they kind of took what was special about that and took it away. The other ones looked fine. The base ones didn't look meteor-like enough. Now, that's fine if you want to make them not meteors, but... Yeah, I don't know. Look, oh. Sky Shards. At least the default Sky Shards look different. Yeah, let me look again, because I don't mind the fire or aether looking ones. Yeah, I just don't... I just don't like them. You know what? They remind me of the, the Spear of the Heavens procs, just blue.
Skill's not ready.
So yeah, I'm gonna thumbs down that change. Alright, so adjusted female idle poses to improve posture and remove issues with loincloths sticking out on armor. There are male armors that do that too, then that annoys me. But I mean, fixing on the female, I know what they're talking about. They're like the loincloth, the tabard things on the front of a lot of armors, and they sort of angle out so they won't clip on the leg armor, especially when walking. So I think they just changed it. And I don't think I have a female character to actually show that on, but yeah, I know what they're talking about on that. So that's a good little change. Tech fixed several issues that caused monster health to desync in multiplayer. Okay. Game veteran difficulty now grants 10% more experience. Increased experience gain in elite. Improved stats on fixed item quest rewards. Okay, that's great. Reduced ruined devotion shrine requirements on elite and ultimate difficulty. With the advent of the difficulty skip merits, we feel this will make leveling experience smoother and not going back to normal difficulty to grab shrines feel as advantageous. So not only are they making the early game harder, they're taking some of the rewards away if you have to go back. Oh no, it's elite and ultimate. Okay. Never mind. So they're just making devotion shrines less good in terms of drops for the higher end. I thought it was reversed. Here, let me... Do I have a female character floating around? Yeah, they're a little more upright. Yeah, this is actually an example. They before they were a little hunched, and yeah, Jin pointed out they're a little hunched, and they had a little more pooch than you'd normally put on a relatively fit female character. And then this like triangle of the loincloth would stick way far out. I'm trying to see if I have a better example of that. I don't know. I didn't use Grim Internals. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if I have a female character that has like... Yeah, that loincloth, it would have stuck out like these sides were. But just in the front. It looked very, very awkward. Now, I thought they were talking about here, Ruin Shrine. Oh, requirements. Oh, my bad. I thought they were talking about drops. Okay, never mind. Thank you, Cymeris. Which of the new sets? Of those 5 new sets? Pyrans? Wait, that's its name, right? I used the damn set on my main character. I should know the damn name. Yeah, I think it was Pyrans? 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 Pyrans, however you want to say it. The mortar trap devastation set. Because it's very on theme for a sorcerer, and it let me basically make everything fire. So we have the fire aether ray, we had the fire devastations, and then we have some general other explosives on here. So my aether ray guy became very, very fire oriented and very on point with his fire abilities. Oh, there's another change we can look at real quick that I know we're gonna get to. instant placement of the thermite mines. SR? 60. I don't care about going high in SR. Wait, did he do 60? Because I know my spellbinder can do 60. That guy I think did 60, but I can't be certain. Because I just don't care about going high into things like Crucible. I don't even go into Crucible, for one, but I don't care about going high on SR. That's part of the reason I'm pulling back from Grim Dawn, is I don't care about challenge modes at all. I want to play games to have fun and escape the real life challenges, the challenges of the real world. I don't want to have to sit here and grind for an imaginary number. That's why I play Monster Hunter more. It's also why I'm picking up Bloodborne again, just because I want to play these like more single player oriented games at my own pace and not have to worry about like grinding high numbers and things. Anyways, all component blueprints now generate complete components rather than partial components. Required materials updated accordingly. Yeah, 18 Gigante that I did. Did I do that 5 times? I did that 5 times, Loris. In all fairness, 18 Gigante, like, I hate that Papega Slam, but ultimately, it's actually, like, if they just reduced its health, it would actually be a fun fight. Just to digress into Monster Hunter before we do the itemization, I actually think if they took 18 Gigante, maybe shaved 20% of its health off, it would actually be a not as bad fight. And maybe take, like, the little paw slaps it does and make those, like, weaker. Because I could deal with something like the Papega Slam existing if the rest of the hunt were more balanced. At least it's not Lunastra. Alright. Rune augments. Increase travel distance on the rush runes. Reduce the travel distance on teleport runes. Increase damage and utility on all runes. So... who knows why you would nerf teleports in this game, but that's not the teleport button, James. That's the teleport button. That doesn't seem that different.
I can't do that yet.
Okay. Oh yeah, let's see what the effects look like overlapping on each other, just to... because I said they reduced it to reduce blowout. I think everything looks pretty good, except for the blades. Yeah. Well, everyone should only use the teleport runes, because that's the best skill ever. It's a teleport. It's just sheer awesome. Alright. All legendary shields that deal non-physical damage have had their base damage changed to the appropriate damage type. EX, a Vitality Shield now deals Vitality damage rather than physical damage. Relic Annihilation added 8% energy cost reduction, removed Cunning. Granted skill is now a proc, triggering off of attacks, damage, and cooldown adjusted accordingly. I don't know what relic that was. I don't know that I have that relic to compare. Grim Tools. There we go. Annihilation. I dropped an I in there. It's annihil. Yeah. So there we go. It was only my favorite movie of last year. So annihilation. Oh, the meteor. Okay, that makes sense. All right, Bane. Added 4% offensive ability and 4 attack damage converted to health. Removed offensive ability. Added attack damage converted to health on the skill proc. Let's see. Dreeg's Affliction. Reduced cooldown and increased damage on the granted skill with Forgotten Gods. Now has additional % retaliation added to attack. Okay. Ignifire's Combustion. Remove the attack and cast speed. Yeah, that's fair. Necrosis, granted skill now reduces all non-physical resistances by 10%. Okay, so if I recall correctly, Necrosis was something where... Nope, I think I'm thinking of something else. Wait, wasn't Necrosis... Didn't it have like a very specific... What am I doing? Just... Necrosis. Okay, yeah, Aether Chaos Elemental. So now it's just gonna do 10% to all non-physical. Nemesis. Increase the defensive ability reduction applied by the pet. Oblivion. Granted skill now spammable. Okay. I don't know why we're not getting the images loading either. So they just took out the 3-second recharge. So Oblivion's skill is now spammable. Urubaruk's Reaping. Increase the damage on the skill. Yagul's Hunger. Increase the damage on the skill. Faction Blaze Rush. Increase the attack speed. Replace bonuses and modifier for Granado with support for Flame Touched. Still looks like as... I mean, it's a granted skill. I wouldn't have expected it to be high on the list of updated graphics targets. Blood Borer. Increase the attack speed. Replaced Pierce with Bleed. Increased Bleed modifier for Storm Spread. Replaced Pierce damage modifier for Phantasmal Blades with Weapon damage modifier. Corruption. Added cooldown reduction. Hex Launcher. Increased attack speed. Cast speed, by 18%. Night Stalker Pendant. Added some Frostburn for the Rune of Hagarad. Increased the crit damage modifier to 12%. Increased the Frostburn modifier on Ring of Steel to 200 for 3 seconds. Increased the crit damage modifier. Rancor. Reduced % physical resistance to 6. Reduced bleed res resistance modifier for Devouring Storm to 10. Bleed damage modifier to 50. Increased bonus damage to Shaman skills to 2. Increased bonus to Shaman skills to 2. No damage on that. And reduce the bonus to Devouring Storm to 2. Faction, the Desolator. Increased attack speed, defensive ability, and increased bonus to Flashbang. Vampirus. Increased chaos damage modifier for Reap Spirit. Witch's Moon. Increased Frostburn damage modifier for Ring of Steel. Replaced Pierce modifier for Rune of Hagarad with cold damage. Wrathguard. Increased Pierce damage and attack speed on the skill. Yeah, we're looking at like just number tweaks here. So Atef's Promise. Increased health and DA. Melmoth's Heart. Replaced Bleed Res with health. Solo's Glare. Replaced Bleed Res with Pierce Res. Witch's Black Flame. Replaced Petrify Res with Stun Res. Monster Infrequent. Increased skill bonuses on all two-handed monster infrequents to +4. They're not already. That's really nice, actually. Monster Infrequent. Redesigned bonuses on all monster infrequent belts. Each belt now grants +1 to a mastery and offers conversion. Alright, let's find a belt. Who has a belt? I probably have some in my shared stash. I'm sure I have one of the belts from the guys in Valbury.
Safe storage.
Monster infrequent belts. +1 the demo for the Chains of Ordos. No, I just have the one. I was going to just show examples, and I only have the one because I put these things away. Alright.
I'll keep an eye out.
Did I open GD stash? I did not. Yeah, I definitely like that text up top. It's actually like legible. It's readable. Alright, GD stash. We need some rare belts. Let's say the min level is 80. Let's Chains of Brandis. I'll delete these. Chains of Ortis. Gargoyle Girdle. Ugdenbog Girdle. Okay.
Safe storage. No questions asked.
Okay, plus on the Shaman on the Chains of Brandis. Plus an Oathkeeper on the Gargoyle Girdle. Plus one to Arcanus on the Chains of Ygard. Huh. Converts Vitality to Aether. Plus on the Soldier and Ogdenbog Girdle. You know... For my Spellbinder, converting Vitality to Aether is actually quite substantial. This one converts Aether to Fire. That's interesting for this guy, actually. Because that would basically... I think we're already dealing all fire anyways. Yeah, actually I don't think there is a point to having that on this guy.
I'll hold on to that for you. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Yeah, those... And obviously there are more belts, but those all have a lot of potential. Specifically the chains from the various guys there could be really, really good. Alright, Alchemo Scythe added 15% chance of 100% cooldown reduction to Blitz. On his War Sword, they added a 15% chance of 100% cooldown reduction modifier for Vire's Might. Increased the percent of fire dealt as cold for Pneumatic Burst. And added cold damage modifier for it. Basilisk Fang added 100% physical dealt as acid for Aegis of Maynor. Corvin Eldritch Hybrid added modifiers for Smite. Storm Halberd increased the cooldown reduction modifier for Primal Strike. Packless Skins increased vitality damage modifier for Wendigo Totem. Replaced its run speed reduction modifier with Fumble. Packless Visage increased the bleed res reduction modifier for Siphon Souls. Troll Bone Crusher added modifiers for Fail Hunger. Bloody Crystal reduced the bleed res. Okay. All number tweaking there. Alright, so legendary non-set items. I'm going to take a drink of water. Okay. Amarastan Crusher. Bonus is redesigned around spammable Amarastas Blade Burst. Well, heck, son. So the Amarastan Crusher... Give this a refresh. Are we going to get images, please? Amarastan Crusher. There we go. If I recall... What was the rip ears? Yeah, I have a couple of these floating around. Yeah, it's a cold acid mace used for Amarasta's Blade Burst. And it says that they're... Oh, does it? Oh, yeah, I can see that. So it looks like they're changing it to be... Wait, if I claim to have these... Legendary, Mace, Search, Amarastan Crusher. We can just go look at it. I mean, come on. Now, Amarasta's Blade Burst, that is definitely a thing that can hold it back.
I'll keep your stash safe.
Oh no, that was a button. That was muscle memory, because that button used to be up there. Rip my organized stash. Okay, we need...
Stay strong.
Yeah, just read it. It adds a crit damage modifier to Amarasta's, reduces the damage out of Amarasta's, completely eliminates the cooldown, and halves the energy cost. So we get spammable Amarasta's Blade Burst out of this. And that is kind of a thing that holds Amarasta's back. But this to me is a little like Blade Arc now. Like this. Because, well, you are spamming it. And while it does make the damage better, technically, it's like, why? Right? Because to me, Amarasta's, while that does make it, you know, like maybe a better main attack replacer.
What troubles you? Safe journey.
To me, the power that Amarasta's Blade Burst has is not actually in the Blade Burst part. It's in the Lethal Assault part.
Safe storage.
Because to me, Amarasta's is more like
Safe with me. Promise.
you put a point on the Blade Burst itself, and then you put as many points as you can or want into Lethal Assault. So what you would be doing is you would, you know, Shadow Strike into enemies, just dive enemies. Pop one Amarasta's Blade Burst, and like rotate all of your abilities, right? So on this guy, if we were using Amarasta's, which we were on this build actually before I used Sky Shards, we would Shadow Strike in, and we could sit there and hold our main attack to just chop. But we would be popping Electra's Flash Freeze, Trojan Sky Shards, Ring of Steel, then rotate back to Shadow Strike, then Electras, then Trojans, then Ring of Steel. Not necessarily that smoothly or in that specific order, but we would definitely be rotating our cooldowns with this character more than relying on Amarasta's Blade Burst damage. And we would rotate Amarasta's in to keep the damage buff here going. Specifically for that OA. And that OA really actually can help you deal more damage. So, to me, Amarasta's Blade Burst, and this might have changed with that weapon, it's always been a self-buff ability to me, more than a attack ability. So, when I say it's a lot like Blade Arc, what I mean is you're essentially doing a main attack replacer that, like, if you wanted to deal damage with it, you would really actually want to run a two-hander. So to me, having a spammable Blade Burst means you're having very weak Blade Bursts. And Blade Arc, actually, to me, with a one-hander, feels very, very weak. Now, we still haven't tried it with the Targo Hammer mixed with the Spell Scourge set for the Battle Mage. But yeah, I don't know that that is actually going to make Amarastas buildable. I'm sure someone could come up with something, but I honestly, I like it though. I like it because it gives you the option to run it like that. Because maybe you want to have it as just constantly chunking out like freezes or something, or at least attempting that. Or maybe you want to keep, maybe you're just using it to keep your character dealing damage, and you just want to have something spammable. Maybe for proccing devotions. But yeah, I don't know that it actually is gonna provide that much of a boost to ABB as a main attack replacer. All right, so Arcanum Electrolysis added electrocute damage, 30% electrocute duration, and 45% of cold delta's lightning. That pistol was just a lightning pistol, I think, so they're making it even more lightning-y. I could see some interesting stuff if you're running like a Sky Shards oriented character using the default damages, or I think I'm using it actually right now in my shaman or my druid because he has a gun. Just checking real quick. We'll get to plowing through these items in a moment because I see a lot of like number tweaking, and number tweaking I don't feel like going through heavily. Oh no, he has Ludegren's sidearm. Never mind. He might have the pistol though. No. Okay. I think I was using it on something.
The Vaulters.
What are you talking about? These are literally the patch notes. Alright, Brutalix. Increase the pierce ratio to 50%, adjusted damage damage adjusted accordingly. Cinder Core. Increased burn damage, increased OA. Cinderplate Girdle. Added 3% OA. Increased crit damage to 7. Reduced cooldown to skill proc. Counter Night Blisters. Added 100% acid. Delta's lightning modifier for the Lightning Shadow Strike variant. 100% acid delta. Okay. Sitting there, like, that's like borderline mathing out a sentence in my head. So, for the Conduit of Night Whispers, that changes. That makes Shadow Strike a lightning ability. This just makes the acid lightning. Conduit of Undying Whispers, updated Blight Fiend variant to be Vitality themed. Mythical, Covenant of the Three, increased the burn bleed damage and the DA reduction ability on the skill proc. DA reduction on the skill proc. I slipped the word ability in there because I was looking at the word ability. Anyways, Crimson Spike, reduced pierce damage ratio to 10%, adjusted damage accordingly, added vit damage. Death Guard Sigil updated. Skill proc to have more appropriate damage types. Decree of Aldrich. Oh, by the way, the parens here, this is both versions. In case anyone didn't catch on to that. Both mythical and normal have the tweaks to it. Because it really is pointless to have two different entries for mythical and normal, honestly. So Decree of Aldrich increased the cooldown reduction per devastation to minus 1.2 seconds. Dracaris added +2 to Flame Touch, remove +1 to Hellfire Mines, increased chance on kill for skill proc to 100%. Dread Scorcher now deals pure Aether damage. Damage adjusted accordingly. Increase the bonus to Inquisitor and Arcana skills to +2. Conversion replaced with fire dealt as Aether. Dread Scorcher's that two-handed rifle. I almost said arcane damage. So it deals pure Aether. They increased these to +2 each. And conversion replaced with fire delta's Aether. making it like a more mainline Aether Fire Strike setup. Eldritch Gaze, increased burn bleed damage and DA on the skill. Ember Core Shoulder Guard, added fire damage, attack speed, and Lightning Delta's Fire, increased burn damage on the skill proc, removed physical damage. Entropic Coil, reduced burn damage on the skill proc. Froth's Cube, increased crit damage, percent OA to 4, health to 4, increased cold damage modifiers for flames and panettis. Okay. Oh, yeah, attack speed on a shoulder piece. Rocking the bigger shoulders makes you swing weapons faster. It's known. Like, that's how swinging weapons in Mad Max works. That's why they wear hockey pads. Anyway, Fate Weaver's Mantle. Skill proc now activates at 45% health instead of when crit. Okay. Cooldown adjusted accordingly. Fiend's Resolve, updated skill proc values. Gavel of Ravenous Souls, replace conversion with 45% fire delta's physical. Gilder's Pulverizer, increased skill bonuses to +4. Increased resistance reduction modifier for Granado, and added matching modifier for Fire's Might. Gut Masher, increased bonus to soldier skills to +2. Increased skill bonuses to +4. Increased attack speed. Increased health. Increased bleed damage modifier for Eye of Reckoning. Hell Scourge, increased OA to 70. Increased all res reduction modifier for Sigil to 22, and increased the damage on the skill proc. A lot of these things are like, I think they just want the weapons maybe used more, but I mean, they're probably just for very specific builds. Still looking for more things like that Almarostan Crusher that I could go look at and comment on. Anyway, Horns of Korvok, added Petrify and Elemental damage reduction to the skill proc, cooldown reduced on high level version. Judgment of Empyrean, added lightning damage, 15% of physical delta's fire, updated conversion to 45 of chaos delta's lightning, updated values on granted skill, removed physical damage. Corvin Worm, added +1 to shaman skills. Yeah, and I don't even know what a lot of these things technically. Corvin Worm. Oh. That's probably why I wasn't paying attention to it. Lifeblaze Mantle, increased the OA, added cast speed, removed conversion, increased damage, reduced cooldown and skill proc. Interesting. So the Soup Bowl shoulders now have casting speed. And they removed the Fire Delta's Vit line. They increased the OA on it. I would assume that applies to both. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's going to be slightly different. Because mythical... Oh, I thought... God damn it. Like, I thought, like, they're going to do this for all of the mythical things. Mythical Life Blaze. Increase the OA to 66, added cast speed and physical resistance. Remove the conversion, increase damage, reduce cooldown, and skill proc. Okay. So your Life Blazes hit more. And the stats are better. And it removes the fire converted to Vit. Which I think is probably a bonus to the item. More than a hindrance, honestly. Yeah, which means reading all this crap is pointless because it's not mythical. Alright, so, Mythical Abyssal Mass added cast speed. Mythical Adversary increased skill bonuses to +2. Reduced bonuses to improve casting and Shattering Blast to +2. Eleanor's Vanity increased the OA and D8. Really? Well, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, I get why, too. See, my problem is the build that would want this is probably the build that's going to use Pyron set anyways. So you don't have an offhand option. Or the offhand open. Maybe if you're still using the build, but you don't want to use Pyron set because you don't feel like you need it. Because that build is still functional without that set. And that's, by the way, that's a lot of OA and DA increased to 130. Amatok Step added Aether Res, Endurance Amplifier, reduced the fire damage modifier for Mortar Trap to 55. Arcanum Electrosis, we went over that already. Numbers are just different. Bane of the Winter King increased the Shaman skills +2. Wait, actually, Gut Masher, Hellscourge, Horns, Judgment, Corvin Worm, Life Blaze Mantle, Mark of Consumption. Okay. Is there mythical Mark of Consumption? No, there isn't. Okay. Mark of Consumption, we were just one off. I'll reduce the attack damage converted to health modifier for Phantasmal Blades, and its bleed damage modifier. Damage tweaking. I had to sneeze just then. Alright, Mythical Basilisk Claw added acid damage modifier for Blood of Dreeg, and increased its cooldown reduction modifier to minus 2.5 seconds. Added 1,200 poison retaliation over 5 seconds modifier for Blade Barrier, and increased its cooldown reduction modifier to 2.5 seconds. Neat. So Mythical Basilisk Claw will now give you, when you pop your Blade Barrier, you now retaliate with poison for things that hit you while you're in your Blade Barrier. Mythical Blood Orb of Cthon added health and +1 to Shaman skills. Added % damage bonuses to the granted skill. Blood Orb the thingy that converts all elemental over to chaos? So that gained health and +1 to Shaman skills. Okay. They added damage to the skill. Okay. That was like such a cool item when they first released it because of the conversion, but it never really went anywhere. Mythical Blood Song reduced the bleed duration, reduced bleed damage on the skill proc. Bone Shatter Treads increased physical res and bleed res. Bone of Girdle added physical res, increased OA, increased bonus to Siphon Souls. Boots of Primordial Rage added stun res. Brutalix increased the pierce ratio, damage adjusted accordingly, increased OA, adjusted bleed damage modifier for Almarastas. Mythical Butcher Burwitch reduced bleed damage on skill proc. Childred Mantle increased the OA, added stun res, and reduced cooldown on the skill proc. I don't remember. I know what those look like. I don't remember what they do. Okay. Okay, so you get some spines. Let's see. Chill Flame Invoker, increase the attack speed, cast speed. Codex of Eternal Storms, increase the OA. Codex of Lies, increase the crit damage modifier for Albrechts. Okay. Codex of Truths, increase the cooldown reduction modifier for Horn of Gondar to -2 seconds and increase the lightning damage modifier for Judgment. Mythical Crimson Spike, we did that already with the normal one. Crown of the Winter of the Revenant King added attack speed and increased vit damage modifier for Smite. Death's Reach. Is that attack speed on a helmet? That's attack speed on a helmet. I don't know how many helmets actually provide that. Mythical Death's Reach increases skill damage modifier. Skill bonuses to +4 added -10% vit bleed res reduction modifiers for Bloody Pox and Devouring Swarm. That's pretty nice, actually. I remember Death's Reach being like a like marquee item for your Bloody Poxes and Devouring Swarm characters. Use those abilities and use the reductions on them. Death Omen added +1 to Necro skills. What's Death Omen? It's a mace. So that just gets +1 to Necro. That pushes the Vitality Reaper. Mythical Devil's Cage Halberg added increased health. Devil Tongue increased attack speed. Mythical Dracaris, +2 Flame Touch, remove Hellfire Mine. We kind of did that already. Dread Mask of Gurgoth. Isn't it Golgoth? Whatever. Fixed Missing Lightning Damage modifier for Mortar Trap. Mythical Dread Scorcher, same thing as the other one. Just bigger numbers. Mythical Earth Shatter Treads, updated values on the granted skill. Mythical Earth Splitter, reduced the cooldown on the skill proc. Tropic Coil, reduced the burn damage on the skill proc. Evoker of Elgalith, increase the bonus on Savagery to +4. It's probably a two-hander, isn't it? Executioner's Judgment, increased attack speed and increased bonus to deadly momentum +4. Fate Weaver's Mantle, skill proc now activates on health. Fiend Scale Jacket, increased the health, increased the damage on the skill proc, and added DA reduction to it. Will Aether Fire Strike be good now? Spoiler alert. Maybe. Fiend Flesh Creeves. Added health. Fiend's Resolve, increased the attack speed, cast speed, updated skill proc values. Frostred Cuirass, increased the bleed res. Galewind Treads, added freeze res, remove the cold res. That's weird. Why would you... Like, that's not even on theme. Why would you be immune to freezes? Or resistant to freezes, but not resistant to cold? Whatever. Gavel of Ravenous Souls. Replaced the conversion with 45% fire deltas physical. Added 100% of vitality deltas physical for 7 souls. Guardian of Death's Gates. Increased the bonus to Necromancer skills to +2. Increased bonuses to Bonds of Bismeal and Field Command to +4. Mythical Guillotine added OA. Increased bonuses on skills to 2. Increased bleed duration. Updated skill proc and increased its activation chance to 50%. Gut Ripper added 2 to Shaman skills. Added bleed damage to Grasping Vines. Increased the bonus to Deadly Momentum Fighting Form to +4. Gut Ripper's a two-hander, right? Okay. Yeah, this patch seems like the we're sorry we made two-handers bad. Let's make them better patch. Yeah, adding, even on a two-hander, adding the OA. Yeah, I should have actually looked this up. Because I've seen this one. Okay, yeah, so those are all going to +2. It's getting 4% OA. And the skill is going to be updated to a 50% chance on enemy death. But yeah, like I said, this seems to be the we'll make two-handers better, we promise. Ishkor's head increased the attack and cast speeds. Ishkor's corrupted head increased the attack and cast speeds. Judgment of Empyrean added lightning damage and 50% physical deltas fire. Updated conversion to the chaos deltas fire. Updated bonus on grand skill, remove physical damage. Leviathan increased bonus to Amarasa's blade burst to 4. Increased physical damage modifier for Amarasa's blade burst. Adjusted values on the granted skill. Lifeblaze Mantle we went over already. Life Figure Signet increased the DA. Increased the proc chance to 15%. That's actually one of my favorite rings, so that's nice. Mythical Corvid Worm added +2 to Shaman and Inquiz. Increased physical damage modifier for Primal Strike. Mark of Calamitous Desire, reduced fire damage modifier for Mortar Trap. Mark of Callistor, increased OA. Mark of Ulzin, increased OA. Maw of Despair added Aether damage to Field Command. That's actually pretty neat. Maw of Despair is the Battle Mage helmet that has, I think it's pluses to Warcry and Calidors. And then +1 to Arcana skills. So this just adds Aether damage to Field Command. So you get a little stronger when you have Field Command out. And you have that hat on. Morgul's Mortality, they added Vit Decay damage. Murmur's Kiss added OA. Increased the bonus to Lethal Assault to +3. And increased the damage on the skill proc. Okay, yeah, I want to see this one. Because So they're adding OA, which is pretty standard for a belt, actually. Increased lethal assault to 3, increased damage on the skill proc. Okay, so the skill proc is just some bonus acid damage. But yeah, lethal assault going up to +3 is actually really nice. 1, it actually makes it match the other +3s. And 2, lethal assault is just a really, really nice buff, like I said at the top of the stream. Really nice self buff. Nadon's Reach reduced the bleed damage modifier for Ring of Steel. Knight's Embrace added a -6% cold pierce resist reduction modifier for Veil of Shadow. Moved the resistance reduction from the granted skill. Nightshade's Reach increased the damage on skill proc. Northern Worm class skills are +2. I believe that's a Shaman Arcanist. Nosferatus added 10% physical and 35% bleed rest for pets. Increased bleed damage for pets. Obsidian Juggernaut replaced the bonus to fighting form with +2 to soldier skills. Increased the bonus to Hellfire minus +4. That's a really nice one because Obsidian Juggernaut. Obsidian. Yeah, this is the one with the Obsidian Tremor. That's what I was thinking it was. So yeah, just +2 to soldier skills and +2 to occultist skills. And then you still have the +2 to health. Or no, it's going to be +4. Yeah, having +2 to soldier and +2 to occultist is really nice for that. Because, is that going to be best in slot now for a Witchblade? Doing a 2-hand build? It might be, because I was using it with my Witchblade that was doing the 2-handed blade arcs. And this is essentially a straight up buff to that entire character. He doesn't even use the Obsidian Tremor either. So yeah, that's actually pretty nice. Pagar's Betrayal increased retaliation damage, added to attack modifier for flames. Pandemic added cooldown reduction. Pestilence of Dreeg added conversion based on the plague it rolls. Pestilence of... Is it 2 L's? Pestilence... No. How do you spell pestilence? Ence. Pestilence of Dreeg. Oh. I didn't even know this was a thing. So we're getting conversion based on its plague. Okay. I would assume we get some physical conversion or chaos conversion. That sort of thing. Quilthor of Dreeg increase your occult skills to +2. Mythical Rune of Elgoloth reduced the lightning damage modifier for Mortar Trap and added 100% physical delta as lightning modifier for it. So pure-ish fire lightning. Well, no, it would be pure fire lightning mortar traps. Mythical Runeguard Greaves added chaos res. Shadowflame Mantle gets physical res and removed the cold resistance. Shroud of Illusion, they added 25% Aether Delta's Elemental. Replaced the Aura of Conviction with Aura of Censure. That's pretty cool, actually. Elemental, or Aether converted to Elemental is actually really rare. I was considering doing that for my main Aether Ray Arcanist, but I couldn't find that many instances of it. So having that as an option is actually a really interesting stat line for shoulder pads. Alright, Mythical Silverbolt increased the bonus to all skills to 3. Skyreach Bulwark increased the DA. Speaker of the Dead increased the OA. Spell Drinker replaced the bonuses to Blast Shield and Conversion with Thermite Mine and Arcane Will. Okay. Spirit Seeker Cord added Pierce and Poison resistances for pets. The Salance increased the bonuses to skills +4. Just values on skill proc. Starfree Emerald added cooldown reduction. Ooh. That's nice. Starfire Emerald gives you an extra Sky Shard, I believe, and is very, very good for a druid using Sky Shards. That just makes it better, because that's just more Sky Shards. Increased physical damage modifier for Force Wave on the Stone Fist Rebuke. Storm Bearers increased Vit Res. Storm Reaver increased the bonus to Inquisitor skills to +2. Stormweave Armor added some physical res, increased OA to 90 and DA to 60. Tainted Ruby of Gardal increased damage on the skill proc, added damage reduction to it. Temporal Arcblade increased skill bonuses to 4. Time Walker added bleed res. Tome of Atonement increased the percent damage modifier of the skill for Dreeg's Evil Eye to 100%. Is Tome of Atonement like it makes Tome of Atonement? That is not mint, James. Yeah, it basically didn't it. Yeah, it added a recharge to Dreeg's, increased the damage, but all the vitality was turned to fire, so it gave you a fire Dreeg's. Well, fire poison Dreeg's. So this just makes the total damage 100%. Turian's Reprisal increased the retaliation damage added to attack modifier for Blackwater. Venomancer's Guile added Chaos Delta's Acid, increased acid damage for Bloody Pox. Venomancer's Raiment increased the OA, updated conversion for Elemental Delta's Acid. Venom's Mind Greaves added DA, updated values on skill proc. Vestments of the Great Guardian added Chaos Delta's Acid. Viable Mantle updated the skill proc. Nice and detailed note right there. So they just updated this in some way. No idea what. Voidmancer's Cord added Pierce Rose for pets. Voidwalker Foot Pads increased the Chaos and Vitality resistances. Vortex of Souls got physical res. That's that gun that pierces with all of its shots, so it just got physical res. Watcher of Irulan increased the physical res and total speed on the granted skill. Whisper of Secrets increased health and OA. Windshear Greaves increased physical res and poison res. Wraithwalker's got stun res. Wrath of Tenebris increased the bonus to occultist skills of +2. Wretched Tomb of Nar Adin added 45% of Chaos Delta's Acid. Increased poison duration to 100%. Increased acid damage modifier for Dreeg's Evil Eye. And reduced its poison duration modifier to 50%. Wretched Tomb of Nar Adin would probably just make a poison build work a little better. And it would let you straight up convert half of like a Doombolt to poison. Well, to acid at least. So yeah. Not bad. They added stun and petrify resistances to the Wormskull foot guards. Nightclaw added 4% cooldown reduction, increased bleed damage, attack speed, and increased bleed damage on the skill proc. Did it. Pack of Treacherous Means has been refocused on its original direction of pierce damage, ranged play. A new belt, Pack of Deadly Means, has been added to the loot pool that enables the dual wheel direction from 1130. Okay, so Pack of Treacherous Means was changed to something else, and they reverted it back, and they added in a new item that is similarly named but does the thing that it was changed to. That's how I'm interpreting that. Pandemic. Fixed unintentionally low vit decay bonuses. Okay, so they fixed the glitch there. Sharzul's World Eater, they increased the soldier skills to +2. Shroud of Illusion added Aether Delta's Elemental, replaced the Orb of Conviction with Aura Censure. Spark of Reality added chaos damage. Increased chaos damage, added duration to Mirror. Spark of Reality. What does that do again? Spark of Reality. Okay. Very defensive-oriented caster weapon for Aether and Chaos builds. Mostly Chaos builds. That also increases the duration of Mirror. Did Spell Drinker, Spirit Seeker, Cord, added Pierce Res for pets. Both Soul Rens, they increased the Phantasmal Armor to 4, added +2 to Necro, adjusted values on the skill proc. Yeah, I was using Soul Rend on my Spellbreaker. But yeah, them getting it +2 to Necro could make a Reaper both on point with the Scythe weapon being a Reaper and all. So you get the flavor on point, and then the weapon's also not bad. We did the Mythic of that. Butcher Burwitch and reduce the bleed damage. Reduce bleed damage on skill proc. Did Guillotine, Venomancer's Raiment. Yeah, we did the mythicals as well. Okay. I'm going to take another sip of water. Okay, Alagast's Masterpiece. So on the whole set, they increased the lightning damage modifier for Trojans, reduced the aether damage modifier for Stormbox. They increased the bonus to Shattered Star for 3 on the robes, increased the aether damage modifier for the Sky Shards on the weapon, and increased the bonus to Shattered Star to 3 on the ring. Overall, a buff to that set. Blightlord. Okay, Blightlords got the helmet and mantle conversions swapped. Okay. Blood Ragers set. Blood Ragers Endless set. They removed the crit damage and reduced damage bonuses on the skill proc. Bonemonger set, they added all res reduction for Smite. Bonemonger's Chest Guard added some physical res and attack speed, removed vitality res. Bonemonger Hood increased the vitality res. Shoulder Guard added 3 to resilience, removed the bonuses to Shattering Smash. Chill Whisper set reduced cold damage modifier and Blade Spirit. Dark One set added support for Shaman Mastery skills through the set and its pieces. Dark One's Hood increased vitality damage modifier for Bloody Pox. Death Guard set increased the % crit damage modifier for Shadow Strike. Deathmark Shadow set reduced physical resistance. Deathmarked Claw reduced the attack damage converted to health modifier for Rolling Death. Deathmarked Decapitator reduced crit damage modifier for Execution. Nerfing that setup. Deception of Dreeg added physical res and Chaos Delta's Acid. So make the Dreeg set more acidy. Same thing with the Black Gem of Dreeg. Chaos Delta's Acid. Demon Slayer's Defense reduced physical resistance on the granted skill. Demon Slayer's Life Ender reduced the weapon damage and damage bonuses against Chthonics on the skill. Invoker's Elements reduced the resistance reduction on the skill. Invoker's Will reduced the resistance reduction on the skill. Hey, endorphins. Yeah, they're basically making the Invoker set probably just a little less good because it's used outside of its Panetti's orientation. Korba's Fury set increased physical resistance to 12, increased cold damage modifier for Savagery. Korba's Decapitator reduced bleed damage, added cold damage, added attack damage converted to health on the skill proc. Frenzy added bleed damage, added attack damage converted to health on the skill proc. Hood reduced the cold damage to 8. So I guess that's spreading the cold damage out because they're adding it there and reducing it there. So that's making it just equaling out the cold damage, it would seem. Light's Guardian set reduced the lightning damage modifier on Stormbox. Demon Slayer's Defense. Demon Slayer's Life. Oh, this is the mythical versions. Infernal Knight's Face Guard added burn damage for Judgment. Nature's Avenger set increased the health regen. Avenger set increased the health regen. Avenger's Crusher increased the bonus damage to brute force to 4, attack speed to 18, increased weapon damage modifier for Upheaval, fixed skill proc not piercing through enemies, swapped its pierce damage for physical damage, and reduced its cooldown. So, Nature's Avenger and the Avengers set. So the Avenger set just got hyper health regen. Alright, Pyron's set. Increased all res reduction modifier for Devastation. Increased health regen to 100. Reduced fire damage modifier for Summon Guardian Period. Reduced... Okay. Um, that's cool. They're making the Arcanist part of that better. Um, and more health regen for the for a set that's like that's its defensive ability is health regen. It gives you an absurd amount of health regen already. So on the offhand, increase burn damage modifier for devastation, reduce the fire damage modifier for mortar trap, remove the fire res reduction modifier for summon guardian Empyrean. I wonder what the balance is right here in tweaking this set. They added 200 health to the mantle. Oh, there we go. That was a little complaint I had, and I'm surprised no one else brought up. There was no energy regen on the chest piece because it's caster, but there was no energy regen there, which means we now actually have the proper energy regen for a caster piece of armor. The Visage added Aether Res and Physical Res. Ooh. Removed Elemental Res and Health Regen. Increased the fire damage modifier. Oh, yeah, so that's why we got some health regen increase on the set, because they took it off the helmet. But they added Physical Res to the set, which it was a set that had none. And they made Devastation stronger while using the set. Radobon's Folly. They added 100% fire Delta's acid modifier for Sigil. Increased the cooldown reduction modifier. Replaced the bonuses to Mark of Torment with +3 to Ill Omen. Replaced the modifier for Spectral Binding with minus 15% poison res reduction. And acid damage modifiers for Ill Omen. Okay, yeah, that's actually really cool because I guess that means the Rado... Yeah, I know what I said. That was intentional. So the Radobon's Folly is now just a curse set. Because if they're taking out the Spectral Binding stuff and Mark of Torment, Ill Omen is the curse, and it makes your poison stronger. And they're focusing fire into acid. Interesting. The gem replaced the modifier for Spectral Binding with poison res reduction, some acid damage, 100% cold delta's acid for Ill Omen. So it makes your Ill Omen just like another poison thing that passes from enemy to enemy. So yeah, the Shroud gets the Mark of Torment. Replaced with Ill Omen. I think that's really cool, actually. Give that set a focus on essentially like a necromancy version of a plague. Alright, Rage of Agravax. Increased the fire res reduction modifier for Siphon Souls. Increased the Aether damage modifier for Vindictive Flame. Excuse me. The Codex added Aether damage modifier for Siphon Souls. Mythical Shard. Agravax replaced the Harbinger Souls with Siphon Souls. Alright, Rotgeist. Increase the weapon damage modifier for Dreegs and increase the acid damage modifier for Fire's Might. Rotgeist Emblem. Increase the vitality damage modifier for Dreegs. Rotgeist Mask. Replace the crit damage with cooldown reduction. Replace modifiers for Dreegs with 20% crit damage modifier for it. Increase attack damage converted health modifier for Primal Strike. Shoulder added Aether and Bleed, or increased Aether and Bleed reses. What's Rotgeist again? Wait, is that one word? It's one word. So it's like Dreegs with fires, Dreegs with Primal Strike. Okay, Vitality Primal Strikes then. Okay. So the mask got the crit line replaced with... Okay. That makes sense because it's Primal Strike, right? So you could presumably Primal Strike more. Alright, Runebinder's Gem increased the cold damage modifier on Rune of Hagarod. Runebinder's Hat increased the fire damage modifier for Rune of Callistor. Sentinel with a 3 increased retaliation added to attack modifiers for Counter-Strike and Fire's Might. Targo's Craft Set increased internal damage for Amarastas, reduces duration to 2 seconds. Added skill proc. So increase the internal. I have to look at the set real quick. Physical damage. So that's the full set, right? Okay. Increased internal trauma damage modifier for Amarastas by 60. Reduced its duration to 2 seconds. And they added a skill proc to the set. I can't look at the skill proc because I don't think I have any of this set floating around. Now Amarastas, like, isn't its is its default cooldown is 3 seconds, isn't it? Right? Am I thinking that right? So they reduce. So this set makes it so you can Amarastas more. How I'm interpreting that. No, it's a 1.8 second skill recharge on this character. Oh, okay. I read that wrong. It's they're increasing the internal trauma damage modifier, but they're reducing the duration of the internal trauma damage to 2 seconds. Okay. The mallet gets increased physical damage and internal trauma damage modifiers for Blade Arc. Added physical damage modifier for Amarastas. Yeah, Blade Arc is really difficult to use with a one-hander, so I'm not surprised it's getting an even bigger buff with the set. The shoulder guard has now some elemental converted to physical. Cyclone set, increase the fire damage for thermite mine. Cyclone mark, reduce the lightning damage modifier for thermite mines. More fire, less lightning. Corvin Dune Fiend, added 22 acid damage modifier for Blood of Dreeg and removed its offensive ability modifier. Added plus 2.1 cooldown and a 70% damage modifiers for Shadow Strike. Removed its energy cost reduction modifier. Swapped lightning to pierce conversion for lightning to acid conversion on the set and its pieces. Makes a lot more sense to me, given that it's an acid-oriented set. That's also interesting that it's making essentially a longer cooldown Shadow Strike that deals more damage. So the mask, they added health to granted passive skill, added OA ability modifier to Blood of Dreeg. So, okay, so they also took this offensive ability modifier and slapped it on the helmet. And then the weapons, increased weapon damage modifier for Shadow Strike and added energy cost modifier. Okay, so they're increasing the weapon damage modifiers on the weapons to compensate, I think, for this change. Wait. No, I think they're just adding because this is confusing me because it says 75% damage modifier, and I'm wondering if that's 75% more damage or they're reducing it by 75%, but it's increased elsewhere. And then they took the energy cost and just slapped it on the weapons from the full set. All right, so Mage Slayer increased the elemental dot modifiers for Flames of Ignifar. The Arm Guard, they increased the cast speed. Venomblade Pact revised the set, and its items support 2 masteries, adding support for Occultist. In some cases, skill bonuses were replaced. Vile. Venom. Oh, okay, I see. I'm like Venom. Oh, okay. There's a. It's Venom Blade and Vile Blade. Oh, that set. So it looks like they're just slapping some cultist into this one. Don't know the details on that. I don't think I have. I have some of the set floating around, but I don't think I could check anything on it really, unfortunately. Void Soul set added some chaos damage for flames. Trojan's Mantle added physical res, remove the cold res. Trojan Sky Breach set added support for occultist mastery throughout the set and its pieces. Oh man. This we can actually look at because I know I have the set. And the amulet's open, which means you can get those poison acid sky shards going. By the way, just throwing that out there. +2 to destruction on the chest. Reduce the skill recharge on Sigil of Consumption. Convert the fire to lightning on Sigil of Consumption on the hat. Added destruction on the mantle and on the Star Keeper. They added cold to Sigil. Okay, so you get cold lightning Sigil of Consumptions. So yeah, you get +3 to Sigil added in there. And then lightning damage added to Sigil. Convert all the chaos to cold on Sigil. So the fire turns to lightning, the vitality turns to cold, and the chaos turns to cold. So you have really, really cold sigils on the ground. So essentially, with a warlock using Trojan Sky Shards, you're basically painting a bullseye on the ground, and then you're going to drop those Sky Shards right on it. That actually would be pretty cool. Huh. Actually, you know what You know what would also make that really neat? Because you have a warlock that paints that target on the ground. You're dropping sky shards right on top of whatever's underneath your sigil. And then you also have, like, your raven pelting stuff in. You've cursed that entire group. So they're slower, easier to hit, and weaker to elemental resistance. You have Blood of Dreeg as a heal. And that gives you some tankiness. You don't need to do... Like, I would still do the Star Fury Emerald in that build. Because that gives you 5 on your cluster of Sky Shards. Yeah, that actually could be a really fun warlock. Welcome back, Jin. Because I presently don't actually have a Trojans, heavily oriented Trojans build right now. I have it as a part of a couple builds. So maybe I'll do that with a Warlock. Like, this actually makes me want to build a Warlock in the future. Like, just having this ability combination for the class combo. Like, it's actually really intriguing to me. Because they seem like they'd blend together really well. And it actually gives you something to do as a Warlock. That's not like Chaos Aether Ray. And I think there's actually enough support in there to make it work. Yeah, Jin. That's 100% true on that. Okay, yeah. So I'll add that to my list of builds whenever I get back into Grim Dawn heavily. And Jin linked a Grand Blue Fantasy meme. That's actually like, okay, like this meme where it's these 5 things, that actually fits all of these characters. Because Vayne is very like encouraging and idea oriented. Percy is good luck going and dying dumbasses. Lancelot is very like rules oriented, very responsible. And Siegfried is probably on the spectrum, so he'd probably believe something like that's going on. And then Siegfried with the mask on is like, so there's actually been some evil clones of Siegfried floating around. That's what that would be. All right, back to this. Yeah, so we went over the Trojan stuff. You know, if Siegfried wanted to storm Area 51, he could just do it. Like, he doesn't need help doing that. Like, he's literally fought armies by himself. He's bathed in dragon blood, for F's sake. Like, there's nothing bullets. He wouldn't care. He could just storm Area 51 for us. Anyway, Ulzin's set reduced weapon damage modifier on canister bomb, move fire damage modifier for canister bomb on the flame spreader, added conversion modifier for the head guard. Head guard, reduce burn damage on canister bomb, move the conversion modifier to the flame spreader. So they swap that. Hey, Pikachu-sung. Okay. A little swap done on Ulzin's set. Valgir's Hunger, added attack damage converted to health, vitality damage. 100% fire dealt as vitality damage modifier for Sigil. Moved 50 vitality damage modifier for Storm Totem to Valgir's Gems. Valgir's Gems increased the vitality damage modifier for Sigil. Valgir's Gems added the vitality damage modifier for Storm Totem. Okay. Virtue's Light reduced the shield block and health. Visor of Octavius removed physical res. Void Soul updated conversion to Elemental Delta's Chaos. Bulwark increased the Chaos Vit res reduction on the skill. And the Visage added weapon damage modifier for Flames. Probably love Grim Dawn Reborn mod. It makes caster skills so fun. I'm not big in the modding for games. I'm skipping the epic stuff. I don't really care about epic stuff. I don't know. I just don't really dig mods as much for games. I like playing like the base game. Sometimes finding little things to do in the game and then like just honing the base game usually. Like I even avoid like modded skins and things. Like in Monhun, the only mod I've ever used for a short period of time was like the thing that made the shinies on the ground get a little light ray so you could see them better. Oh yeah. Not only are we skipping epics, you can just see the pattern in the word resist showing up everywhere. Also, they're epics. Let's see. Classes and skills. Living Shadow, they reduce the bleed damage on it. Okay, Blade Arc. Normalized animation speed across all weapon groups. Previously, two-handed melee was up to 20% faster than dual wield one hand. All weapon groups now match the two-hand speed. That right there, that explains a lot. Because, like, I was always like, oh, two-handers are just better for Blade Arc. And it's like, oh, maybe that was why. Hey, Wreck by Protoss, thank you for the raid. I'm doing fine. I have not played Grim Dawn in like a month. Maybe even more than a month, actually, at this point. Time is kind of blended together over the course of the summer. And I haven't really tried anything in this patch yet. But I actually, so before we move on, I actually, though, the Trojans changes, I actually would really like to build a Warlock now to try out Sky Shards. Because I think between Curse of Frailty, the sigils turning into Cold Lightning sigils, the Raven Familiar, your Sky Shards, Blood of Dreeg, Mirror, Sphere, and some of the Arcanist changes that we're going to get to, I think it could actually be really strong. And it would be a really interesting build for the Warlock. Because the Warlock, like, I can't think of any builds in it except for Chaos Aether Ray. And even that's, like, not as good as, like, the Spellbinder doing Aether Ray. And I could argue the Sorcerer doing Aether Ray with the Fire Beam and all of the Pyron set support. But yeah, I could see the Warlock actually being really fun with that set. And yeah, Blade Arc, I always complain that two-handers oh yeah, the Mage Hunter does it better too. The two-handers are better for Blade Arc, and that's probably why. So, you know what? We might actually go into our Battle Mage at some point in the future and update him. Yeah, I, like, in all honesty, right now, I find Grim Dawn incredibly boring. But there are, like, 3 builds, maybe, that I want to build. One of them now is that Warlock. The other one is a Battle Mage to try and make a Battle Mage work. I forget what the third was. There's one other really big one I wanted to build. Actually, I think I want to refine my Pyron Sorcerer. To just make him run smoother and run better. But that would just be playing him. And he's like my main character. So we would still want to, you know, keep him nice and strong. And I still need to write the damn build for that guy. Do a build video for it. But yeah, I'll try to rotate Grim Dawn in more. See, the other problem is right now, like, summer is a terrible season for me, pretty much until, like, maybe even mid-September. And it's really difficult to keep my energy up to stream for long periods of time with the way my summer goes. And this summer especially, like, I didn't stream on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday this week. I think we streamed on Saturday last week, and it's been 4 days since I last streamed because of work just gets impossibly difficult to deal with. And I think skipped last Friday. So yeah, my streaming just thins out over the summer, which means less time for all games. But yeah, I'm going to try to keep it up, and we'll try to keep Grim Dawn at least rotated in once a week, I think. Just for everyone watching who maybe is aware of the YouTube channel and whatnot, I will try to keep Grim Dawn going more. But yeah, like, I haven't even played Monster Hunter in like 2 weeks or something like that. That's my favorite game. But yeah, we'll be doing Monster Hunter tomorrow. And I'm going to try to stream on Saturday this week. But yeah. Oh, and I also... So, as another aside, like, a lot of people have seasonal affective disorder where when winter rolls around, because of the reduced sun and reduced sunlight and dealing with the holidays and family, they get really depressed. And while I'm not holidays and family, not hugely into that. That doesn't bother me as much. And I actually really like the cold and the fact that it gets darker earlier. So, like, I have a reverse seasonal affective disorder where I get just really bogged down in the summer from the heat and stuff. So, yeah. Summer sucks. It's going to suck at least for one more month. I think the best thing that's happened this summer is House of X came out yesterday. And I get that to enjoy once a week. Alright, see you later, Wreck by Protoss. And welcome to his viewers. We're just about wrapped up with the patch notes. We have the classes to go through, and then we'll be good and done. So, Canister Bomb, reduce the burn damage scaling with rank. Improved Casing, reduce the internal trauma damage scaling with rank. Flashbang, increase the base chance to confuse to 33%, and reduce its scaling such that it returns to its original value by rank 12. Mortar Trap, reduce damage scaling with rank. The big one, increase damage scaling with rank. Slow now scales with rank. Shattering Blast, increased internal trauma damage scaling with rank, particularly at ultimate ranks. Thermite Mines. Thermite Mines now place instantly. Rather than thrown, similar. They just work like the Inquisitor runes. And we can look at this real quick. I showed it earlier, but I'm showing it again because this is one of those it's about damn time changes. So the mines just go down like that now. And they also go down in predictable patterns. Well, more predictable patterns. Although, I don't know if the carpet bombing look is intended. They actually might need to put like a tiny amount of cooldown on thermite mines. Just a tiny amount, like maybe 3 seconds. But yeah, that's our new thermite mines. Definite improvement. Because now anything... Yeah, actually like a 1 second cooldown would be really nice. Because spamming the flashbangs was silly too. Yeah, Big Cell, it is zoomed in a little. It's because of this window. I've zoomed in for the text window. And I just wasn't turning off the display. Yeah, I was aware. Nope, it was me. So Vindictive Flame increased the health regen scaling with rank. Hey, sorcerers using Pyron's set? You want to be Wolverine with fire? Ozin's Wrath increased the base damage. Sigil got Vitality Decay. Destruction added fire damage scaling with rank, particularly at ultimate ranks. Added percent vitality damage. Or increased the fire damage scaling with rank, not added it. So slightly stronger sigils. I think that's for that, probably more specifically for that Trojans build. Almarastas increased the frost burn damage scaling with rank, particularly at ultimate ranks. Almarasta's quick cut increased base weapon damage to 70, adjusted scaling such that it returns to its original values by rank 8. Blade Spirit reduced the bleed damage scaling with rank. Frenetic Throw increased weapon damage penalty to 55%. Lethal Assault reduced the acid cold damage scaling with rank to 52 by rank 12, 116 by max ultimate rank. Why nerf Almarastas? Shadow Strike reduced its cooldown to 3.5 seconds. Energy cost reduced accordingly. Increased weapon damage scaling at ultimate ranks to 385 by max ultimate rank. Why? Here, Here, kids, let's incentivize Shadow Strike as a main attack, and then nerf Lethal Assault. So it's like the reason to, like they put this whole Amoros's Crusher thing in we went over earlier, and it's like I feel less incentivized to do it now. Like, why would I use Amoros's Blade Burst ever when you just buffed Shadow Strike? Here, Renan. Yeah, it's like, yeah, like you mentioned, like, even without the Dune Fiend set, Shadow Strike is just a more desirable main attack ability compared to, like, Amoros's Blade Burst. Nadala's justifiable ends: increased poison damage scaling with rank, particularly at ultimate ranks, increased cooldown reduction scaling at ultimate ranks to minus 1.8 seconds by max ultimate rank. So they even buffed Nadala's justifiable ends attached to it. Nightfall, radius now scales with rank. Increased base weapon damage by 10%, increased frostburn vitality decay damage, and they just straight up buffed all of Shadow Strike. And then they throw, like, this nerf onto Lethal Assault. I mean, yeah, they increased the Frostburn damage on Blade Burst. Yet Shadow Strike gets buffed, like, just straight up buffed. So it's like, why, like, I would just focus on Shadow Strike instead of Amoros's, because they'll fill that same slot. Primal Strike, they reduce the energy cost. Thunderous Strike, reduce the energy cost reduction. Torrent, increased minimum lightning damage by 20, increased base weapon damage to 18, reduced its scaling such that it returns to its original value by rank 12. Yeah, so there are a couple things in here that are getting buffed at low end to just make them more impactful at probably just lower levels. Wendigo Totem, increased its duration, reduced energy cost, increased its heal, adjusted its scaling so it returns to its original value by rank 12. Okay, so yeah, like that's an example. Wendigo Totem just heals better at lower rank, but goes back to like your standard balance. But then they increased the vitality damage scaling with rank, particularly at ultimate ranks, and they added vitality decay damage. Blood Pact increased the chance of attack damage converted to health to 100%, reduced its value accordingly, increased the vitality decay, and bleed duration scaling with ranks. Yeah, that makes sense, Jen. Alright, so Arcanist. Arcane Will now activates at 75%. What was it before? Was it 70? So tiny buff right there. Fabric of Reality, they added percent damage to Ethereals and Chthonics and removed Energy Leech. There is now a point, kinda, to Fabric of Reality. That's still not the change I would have done for it, but that's a definite improvement. Because that's two whole factions that will now just take more damage. And that is percent damage. Okay, I don't think the percent matters. Never mind, my brain's going a little foggy. So no, yeah, that would just be damage, I would assume, for just you dealing that to those groups. So it's not dependent on weapon damage, which is what a chunk of Fabric of Reality is dependent on. So yeah, just increase your damage against Ethereals and Chthonics. So is it worth a 1 point? Yeah, probably. Is it worth investing in still? That's questionable. I think it really depends on your build. I would probably say most builds, though, are not going to invest in Fabric of Reality still. Now, granted, that could be something where you invest in it temporarily, or you invest in it on a very specific character who you're designing to go hunt down ethereals and kill them, or hunt down chthonics and kill them for your farming. But yeah. For Fabric of Reality, I would actually change it to an activated ability and make it the Arcanist's resistance reduction ability. But I don't think that would ever happen. Because I think the Arcanist still feels like it's missing an ability. And I felt this since way back in the day when they changed Sphere and Reckless Power to toggle passives. I feel like Arcanist would really benefit as a class as a whole from just having another activated ability. Alright, so Iskander's Elemental Exchange, they added the percent elemental from Overload. So they took what Overload had, it used to have the percent elemental damage on that. And this always confused people. Because it used to have on Overload here, you know, percent elemental damage, whatever it was per rank. And that was percent elemental damage just added to your character's elemental damage. But it's confusing because it was on the second piece of an ability. And I think it made people think that it only affected the flat elemental damage on Iskandra's. So they took that and just moved it on to Iskander's Elemental Exchange, which in all honesty is where it should have been in the first place. Because even the flat elemental damage on this is confusing to people, because that flat elemental damage is only added to weapon damage. So if you were doing a caster thing and you didn't need the flat damage, you just never put points on this ability. You just one point it so you could get to Overload, and more importantly, Elemental Balance. But to compensate for that, they added offensive ability to Overload. So now the Arcanist has potentially the highest offensive ability in the game to provide a character. Because if you were to focus on Overload, of course you're already probably going to focus on Inner Focus. You have the flat and the percent, and you just build a crap zillion OA. Would I actually choose Overload instead of Elemental Balanced? That's the big question to me, is do I go for the percent crit or the ability to crit? And Jin does make a good point. That really does point starve you. Because actually on the Sorcerer here, like, we're kind of already spread a little thin. And, like I said, I don't think I could actually focus on Overload to build my OA up. Because I think we already hit the... I don't remember the threshold we hit. Yeah, we're at our 3k threshold. So it's like... I don't know if I drop points from Elemental Balance to get more OA. I don't think we need it. So yeah. The advantage, though, is if you actually have these spare points, you can focus on Overload. But yeah, we need... On that character, we actually need the base Elemental Exchange. For the energy regen. Oh, right. And yeah, on that character, they now have the energy regen on the chest piece. Thanks to that getting restored. Elemental dot duration was added to Elemental Balance, so the durations were increased. Oh, hey, Myvan Sphere removed the damage penalty. It's been a long time coming, honestly. In that it's been a long time coming, as in the entire existence of Myvan Sphere, what is the thing people have said they want taken out of it? Originally, it was a physical damage modifier. Then it's just a total damage modifier, more recently. And now, it's just... I should have just kept this damn character open. And now, it's just gone. So, Myvan Sphere is just a purely protective ability for your character. Literally is just damage absorption. And in all honesty, like, when you take and invest points in an ability, you really don't want a negative on it. So they just took the negative out. So you're investing points just for damage absorption. Sarkhanus got quite a few, like, really nice buffs. Really nice buffs out of this. Conversion, the slow res was increased to match the other resistances. Mental alacrity, increase the energy scaling with rank to 1,200 by rank 10, 3,025 by max ultimate rank. Increase the cast speed scaling. Oh, okay. You know, this is going to sound funny. When did they put energy on this ability? Can someone answer me that? Has this ability always had energy on it? Just bonus flat energy? Or is that something added in a patch and I just missed it? Or was that added in this patch and they are talking like they added it before? It's been a while. Because I legitimately have never paid attention to that. I've only come here to this ability for the energy cost reductions. Occasionally for casting speed. Last patch? Okay. I don't remember that at all. Reckless Power, increase the Aether damage scaling with rank. Added chance of stun retaliation, mood burn duration. Yeah, it's like, if it was added, like, a very long time ago, I just never paid attention to it. Alright. Last bits. That patch was a while ago. Infernal Purge, increase the crit damage scaling with rank. Rune of Hagarad, reduce point-blank damage penalty. Okay. Harbinger of Souls, they added vitality damage. Ascension, reduce the % all damage to match the % all retaliation damage. Celestial Presence, reduce radius scaling with rank to 4 by rank 12, 4.5 at max ultimate rank. Reduce the resistance reduction to 30% by rank 12, 40% by max ultimate rank. Eye Reckoning, reduce the weapon damage and physical damage scaling with rank. Shattering Smash, increase weapon damage scaling by 5. Increase weapon damage by 5. Oh, increase physical damage scaling with rank. Tectonic Shift, increase physical damage scaling with rank. Increase bleed damage scaling at ultimate ranks. We're done. So for classes overall, I would say a very, very tiny corner of the soldier got a buff. Demo, I would say, was nerfed a little bit, but nothing horrible. However, actually, no, I would say Demo got a buff because of the Thermite Mine change. Whatever damages were reduced on abilities, I actually think is not as relevant compared to that. Because that's just castable elemental resistance reduction, chaos resistance reduction, and aether resistance reduction. Nightblade, I would actually say got a big buff. Because Shadow Strike is basically a main attack replacer. And Shadow Strike just getting buffed is really good for every Nightblade. No matter what your build combination is, you're probably using Shadow Strike at some level. If you focus on it, it just gets absurdly more powerful now, regardless of using a set or not focused on it. So yeah, that's a nice buff to the Nightblade. The Shaman got, I guess, buffed. Primal Strike specifically got buffed. Wendigo Totem got a tiny buff. So yeah, little buff on the Shaman. Arcanist got jacked. Like, the amount of OA you can generate is insane for one class. And then Um, Myvan Sphere is just pure defense now. You don't take a penalty for it. Just yeah, I would say Arcanist probably got the biggest buff out of all the classes. Especially coupled with the last patch's buffs to things like Sky Shards. And I think it was the patch before that was the big Aether Ray buff. So the Arcanist over the course of Forgotten Gods has gotten way stronger. I don't know how relevant those changes are to the Inquisitor. Rune of Haggarad was rightly nerfed down, and then they tweaked it more to be less of a nerf, I guess. I don't even know why that's there. Probably just for... What's Harbinger again? Harbinger's the pet one? No, that's Master of Death. Harbinger's the other one. Okay, so they probably just normalized the Aether Vit on that. And an Oathkeeper probably got a tiny nerf here, but will the Oathkeeper notice? Probably not. I mean, maybe, like, I don't know the Oathkeeper well enough to actually give an assessment on that. Oh yeah, that was the other build. I forgot. That was the other build I wanted to do. I wanted to do a Templar. So I could actually understand what the heck is going on in the Oathkeeper class. I don't think there was any major... No, yeah, the Trojans change would be a major change, I would say, to the sets and the items. Everything else was really just a copious amount of number tweaking. And I think all characters got a big-ass buff in the auto-loot for components and crafting mats. That just saves you clicking. Mercifully saves you clicking. So yeah, overall, I'd say it's a good patch. It's a good patch. It's oh yeah, and people that use two-handers, I would say, got a nice buff too. Because all of the two-handers got sort of a normalized skill structure. So you get a lot of +4s in there, and a lot of, say, +2 to all skills in a single tree. And oftentimes that's doubled up, so you get +2 to skills in 2 trees. What's the first thing I'll try to roll on this patch? I'm going to try to make a Warlock. Because I think I have a Warlock named Warlock that is at level 77. And I can cheat to rename him and then grind him through the game quickly if I can. Because he's at a level where he can get some gear going. He is an ultimate. Okay, so yeah, we can grind him more. So the build I'm going to shoot for is with the Trojan set. So we're going to do Trojan Sky Shards. And then we're going to work in Sigil of Consumption. Because it gets converted all the cold lightning. I'm going to grab up Curse of Frailty. Yeah, early game got harder. Early game, and I'd say mid game's probably harder. But very specifically, you want vulnerability because of the DA reduction and the elemental resistance reduction. See, what's going to happen here is because of the OA increases on the Arcanist and the fact that this ability, Trojan Sky Shards, is very, very, like, big D crit oriented, having the DA reduction from vulnerability is going to make your crit bigger on top of the elemental res reduction. So you're going to have very, very hard critting Sky Shards. And a lot of them. Because you're going to have a cluster of 5. They're going to pretty much hit the same target. And they're going to be dropping on your sigils, which are also going to keep you alive. This is actually going to play very similar to the Druid, but a little different. And then You also have Blood of Dreeg, which gives you even more OA. Actually, I just realized how absurd this character is going to be with the OA. Like, we might even break, like, 3,500, if I'm being honest. But Blood of Dreeg will keep you alive on top of your sigil life-stealing for you. So you can generate a lot of OA with this character, to the point where you're probably, like, borderline glass cannon-y. I'd actually skip on Doombolt. We'd stop at Aspect of the Guardian. And I would work in the Familiar, because this is another layer of healing. And I think it would just be cool to be sitting there conjuring sky shards and sigils and all that stuff while you have a pet bird. So Tobalobe, I don't do Crucible, so I can't answer that question. Maybe someone in chat can. Yeah, my voice is going. For devotion for this character, there are a couple places we could take it. Excuse me. The main one is gonna still be Hand of Ultos, though. I could maybe see picking up Murmur for the cold reduction. See, the thing is, like, okay, my commentary is going to be this on that. All of the devotion shrines are available in all of the difficulties. So, like, it's really up to you how you want to farm them, because you can jump straight into ultimate, right? As soon as you have access to your stash after you kill the reanimator, you can just go grab that item that lets you instantly jump to ultimate. So you'll be able to immediately start your experience grind in ultimate, and you'll be immediately able to grab up all the shrines. I mean, provided you have, like, the aether crystals and whatnot. So I think by just doing the shrines in ultimate, you'll get most of them as you progress your character. And if you have to, you can drop down to elite or normal. Like, after you've leveled up a bit and you're equipping higher level gear, you could easily jump back down to normal and just walk through everything to get the devotion points. Like, put on a YouTube video and just walk your way through normal if you wanted more points quickly. So I don't even think I'd go into the Crucible at all for that, if I did already. I mean, I don't. I just play the game. I don't like challenge modes. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go fight hard things or not do, like, some Shattered Realm, but I don't care about pushing high Shattered Realm or doing the Crucible, so I just play the game for fun and build for fun. Hey, Scrunchy Cakes. I mean, dictionary definition-wise, yeah, I'd probably say Monster Hunter's technically all big challenges. What, I play optimally? I just play optimally for fun. I mean, you are talking to someone. I did do Arc-Tempered Nergigante like 5 times to get the tickets. So I will go after stuff like that. Am I going for super fast times against Arc-Tempered Nergigante? No. Did I swear and scream a lot during that hunt? Yeah. But yeah. I think I would actually go for Time Dilation on this setup. It's a pretty standard setup I'd go for. Time Dilation, Hand of Ultos, maybe Murmur. Probably get these the first 4 nodes of Dying God.
Hi there.
Thank you for the follow, Snowgoon. So yeah, time dilation is definitely a big one, I think, for this guy. Because it would just give you the double up on the sky shards. Now there are little things in the build I would possibly skip on. No, actually I would take devastation, I think. Still, I'd still 1 point it because you convert a ton of the aether to cold. So while the fire aether left on it is not going to help you as much, you still get the cold damage out of it. So yeah, I think it'd be a really fun build. Is there a video of that build? What build? The one I'm describing now? Oh no, I'm literally describing a build that's brand spanking new. Because of changes with Trojan Sky Shard or Trojan Set. Because I used to do the Sky Shards on the Druid. And I have since switched them over to Ludegren's set.
I'll keep your stash safe.
But the Trojan Skybreach set, as you can see from the complete set bonus, we have lightning damage added to Sigil, and then the chaos damage gets converted to cold damage on Sigil, and then we add cold damage to Sigil from the weapon, convert the vitality to cold on the weapon, and then the helmet converts the fire to lightning on Sigil. So you get essentially cold lightning sigils alongside the sky shards. So that's what we're gonna build with that guy. Actually, except for the Mark of Divinity, I think I'm also gonna go for the Cataclysm set mixed in there. So yeah, it's gonna be a pretty standard, now that I'm going over it, pretty standard set combo of Trojan's Skybreach and the Cataclysm
I'll keep an eye on.
to run the Warlock. But yeah, I think vulnerability off of Curse of Frailty with Trojan Sky Shards would be really, really strong. And then I'd have to look for it, but I'm almost. Actually, I'm not 100% certain. I was kind of thinking there might be something that gives reduced elemental resistance to Sigil of Consumption, but I'd have to spend time looking that up. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a build. And this guy's 77, so that shouldn't be too hard to level to get everything working. Oh yeah, a battle mage. Scroll up to him. A battle mage. Oh man. So I have to go get one, but I need a Targo's hammer. And I think with the battle mage, we are gonna do at least attempt Blade Arc. Because now it should swing. Yeah, that swings a lot faster. But with the battle mage, I was gonna do the Spell Scourge set with the Targo hammer to just add as much physical damage on the Blade Arc as we can get. And then we'll throw the poopy devastations in there. Hopefully the character would work. And if it doesn't work with that combination, and I think I have to redo the devotion on this guy. Maybe. I don't know. Gonna have to work on the battle mage a bit more, I think, than the warlock, because that warlock is like everything just slots in correctly, and it's just a matter of making sure the character can survive. This guy is like, I know he can survive things, but he can't hurt things, so we have to figure out a way to hurt things, and that's much more difficult with a physical battle mage than it sounds. Now, that's just much more difficult with a battle mage, period. And then, yeah, the last build we're going to do, I don't actually know any specifics of the build, but this guy's going to be a Templar. And I don't know if we're going to do a Virus Might Templar or Calidors or something. But we're going to do, going to have a Templar together in the future. And we're always going to be playing our Aether Ray guy. So yeah, those are my plans for Grim Dawn over the next, like, maybe 2 months. Probably going to play the game once a week at least. I don't know what day. As I mentioned before, during the patch notes, my streaming schedule is all screwed up right now because of summer. But we're going to rotate Grim Dawn, Bloodborne, and Monster Hunter this month, because those are the 3 games I have some pretty significant goals and I have to do. For those that are unaware, for Bloodborne, we're going all the way from a new game to New Game Plus 7. And we're still in the new game, because I'm getting back into that game, and it just takes time to relearn everything. But yeah, we're going to take that character all the way to New Game Plus 7. And do different builds in every difficulty. So we're starting with a Saw Cleaver. Then we're going to do Whirligig Saw for New Game Plus 1. And then jump over to maybe, like, Moonlight Greatsword or Riger Palash or something for plus 3, and then we'll go all the way to plus 7, changing the builds, and then at plus 7 we'll just be able to keep replaying the game with different builds. What kind of game is Bloodborne? Have you played Dark Souls? Or are you aware of Dark Souls? Because it is essentially Dark Souls, just differently themed. And I mean, it's, you know, same director, it's FromSoft. It's basically Dark Souls in kind of a... starts out as like Victorian themed and very like horror, and then it kind of goes off the walls and goes into cosmic horror. It is one of my favorite games ever. And I really want to play through it a whole bunch. So yeah, I'm just going to do a bunch of, like, advancing through games to New Game Plus 7 on a character. And in Monster Hunter, all the festivals start up tonight. So tomorrow we're going to be playing Monhun. Probably PC. And we're going to grind the festivals and grind the event quests we still need to grind. And I have to do that on both PS4 and PC because... like, my PS4 was dead for about 8 months. And then I fixed it. And that's why we weren't playing Bloodborne that entire time. And why we're getting back into it now. But I also have to make sure that I can pull my old save off the old hard drive. If I can't, then it's a lot of grinding in the PS4 version. If I can, that's significantly less grinding. But we still gotta grind a little during all these events this month in Monster Hunter World on PS4. Monster Hunter World on PC is more like we've done everything and we can just play for fun and not care what we pick. I think Loris we have to do is Behemoth. It's like the only task we have to do that's like a required thing we have to do. Yeah, Loris, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll definitely do that tomorrow. So you can get the A tier, S tier level, even music back in the town. And I think isn't the Ancient Lashan available too? Two-hand fire swords for real?
Hi there.
Thank you for the follow, Craven. Is there a two-hand fire sword? I'm sure there's a two-hand fire weapon you can just reskin into a sword. Oh yeah, Sharzul's World Eater. It's a two-hand fire weapon. But I don't think there is actually a two-hand flaming sword. Now I'm giving it more thought. Thank you, Craven. Yeah, I'm gonna post streams on my YouTube channel, I think, from now on. Occasionally I'll do a build or a guide, but yeah, YouTube... I don't want to go into a YouTube rant right now. Like, I'll definitely post this, and I'm going to post the Bloodborne stuff once I think if I can finish the new game appropriately. I'll start posting that. Yeah, so anyone got any questions or comments? I think I've covered everything I need to cover. Time to game, Pog. I'm actually going to go...
Hi there.
Thank you for the follow. Relinforus? Relinforus? Did I say that right? Relin? Okay. Yeah, Diablo 3 still dead. Crab. But Diablo 4 is coming. There's always Overwatch. Hey, Sefric. Jin, wouldn't that be more like Diablo 4? I don't know if that pun worked. 1 in 10 new patch 8? 7? Seven to 8, somewhere around there. Good buffs here, Arcanist. Great change to Thermite Mines. Buffs to two-handers. The Trojan set enables a Warlock build that I'm going to start next week, I think. It's not like a game-breaking patch, but it has a lot of good stuff in it. This is not the Albrecht's Aether Ray became a god ability patch, but it's pretty good. I don't know. It's pretty close to it right now. Especially on a spellbinder. I think it's as close to being that as it's ever gonna get. If I'm being totally honest. Like, unless the game changes in a major way again, yeah. I mean, the whole game has to be changed, like get another X pack or something. Then it'll probably get another buff to keep it in pace. Oh yeah, the female model got tweaked a little bit. So she kind of stands up straighter. And like the loincloth that's on a lot of the armors for the female models doesn't stick out way far. Because yeah, you can tell the difference. Like if you've seen the female models before, it's a marked improvement in how they're standing. But yeah, it's not a game-breaking patch, at least as far as I can tell. So I'll give it a 7. Maybe an 8. I think there was like one change I complained about. But I don't even remember what it was. So, oh, it was the difficulty changes to normal and elite. Normal and elite are slightly harder, I guess. But I think that's more for new people coming into the game to have a more challenging experience relative to the power creep that's happened to a lot of gear, especially early game gear. You can never have too many Arcanist buffs. All right, so I think that's gonna cover today's stream. So thanks for watching, everyone. For a while, unless there's YouTube by vet, but I realized I couldn't tell the difference. Veteran, like way back in the day, it actually meant something. I don't think. Oh, veteran. The only change it did is it gives you 10% more experience relative to normal. But veteran in early access was actually a harder mode. But as power creep came into the items, you just started to not notice. And now it's barely noticeable that there is a difference between normal and vet. I don't know any good hardcore Aether Ray builds. I don't play hardcore at all. Actually, now I like the character I'm gonna level is he's gonna be an ultimate. I'm just diving right in. No, that's fine, Sephiroth. Enjoy the rest of your night as well. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow around 5 to 6 o'clock EST. We are going to play Monster Hunter World. It's going to be a pretty open room, so if anyone wants to join, feel free to stop by and check out the room code. I think the only requirement we're going to have to do is Loris's behemoth still needs to be done. And I think that's the one thing we're going to commit to doing tomorrow. Oh yeah, that would be the one requirement, is I would say you'd have to be in high rank. Basically with the story done. So that everyone can play the quests. Yeah, it's going to be PC tomorrow. I have to actually work on my PS4 character still, like I said before. But, I may also try to pull out a Saturday stream because I missed like 4 days in a row this week. And I have a feeling I'm going to be missing next Monday. So, yeah, I might try for another Saturday stream if I can. But we'll definitely be doing stuff tomorrow. Like, for me to miss a stream tomorrow, like, work would have to absolutely destroy me like it did last Friday. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Could be like today, where it's a little lazy, but still. I work at a library. I essentially manage a mailroom at a library. Because we get books from other libraries in Michigan, and then we send books out to other libraries. And I'm basically like the octopus at the middle of that, doing all that. And some days, like today, it was actually really mild. It's just torturous because my office doesn't have air conditioning and has virtually no circulation. So even mild work becomes difficult work when you're breathing your own air back in and you're sweating. And last Friday we got an obscene amount of stuff in, and I don't want that to happen tomorrow. So if that happens again, I'll probably skip streaming. But yeah, I'm gonna be kind of committed to really getting Monster Hunter going, and if not, then we'll definitely do something on Saturday. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll be back tomorrow around 5 to 6 o'clock EST for World. Have a great night. And I will see you guys next time. Nerds. Oh, hey, let's raid Sino. Let's go get him, guys. Everyone ready?
Giant